Hello, everybody. I'm Charlie Stern, and I'm going to talk about Carl Paladino. So let me switch over to this. Now, you know the guy on the left. The guy on the right is an upstate New York businessman. He's from Buffalo, New York. He's an evil, evil man named Carl Paladino. He's on the Board of Education in Buffalo, New York. People actually voted for this creepy, horrible man. And he said some pretty horrible things about President Obama recently. They're racist, they're vile, and I'm not going to repeat them because you can get on the internet and in 2 seconds, type in Carl Paladino and you'll see what I'm talking about. My purpose in this video essay is not to repeat for the 50 gazillionth time the horrible things that he said, but to simply point out that now that the world is outraged, why is he still on the Board of Education in Buffalo? And I want to break down why that is. So the Board of Education held a special session on December 27th and voted 6-2 to demand that Palatino resign. Let me switch back here. My own little TV studio. The Board of Ed voted 6-2. So he actually has a friend on the Board of Ed. The Board of Ed voted 6-2 to demand that Palatino resign with 24 hours for comments he made in response to a survey by the alternative newspaper Art Voice. Paladino has not resigned, and the board met Wednesday, January 4th, yesterday, to select a special counsel to make a case against Paladino's continued tenure on the board that would be presented to New York's Education Commissioner Mary Ellen Elia. The commissioner has the power to start termination proceedings against a local board member, either by acting on a request from the local board or independently. Here's the essay, folks. I was on a board of education. This is the kind of process that gets inserted into the process when people lose their minds. This guy has no business being on a board of education. Right-minded people in Buffalo, including other people on the Board of Education that he's on, believe he has no business being on the Board of Education. So vote him off the board. He has no business being there. Vote him off. Vote him off. Let the lawyers catch up to you later. Vote him off. And by pushing it off to the board, but to the Commissioner of Education and to the New York State Education Department, you are absolutely positively guaranteeing that that decision is going to take a really long time to happen. If you want something not done, give it to the state education department, and that will absolutely guarantee that will get gummed up in a pentagon of non-progress for a very long time. Lawyers will look at it, they will consider it, they will present scholarly papers on what could happen and the legal implications of this and that. Presentations will be made, legal arguments will be bantered back and forth ad infinitum. Meantime, this horrible, horrible person who has no business anywhere near public policy is on the Board of Education in Buffalo. And by the way, it matters because thanks to high-stakes testing and the magic of the internet, you can look up, hang on, let me switch back to, you can look up and you can see, I hope you can see this, I think you can, there we go. These are the test scores for English Language Arts Grade 3 in Buffalo. Proficiency level, 13%. Folks, that means that 13% of the kids in Buffalo can read at grade level. 13%, right? That means that Buffalo is an educational wasteland, and it is one of the worst public school systems in the United States of America. So thank you, Carl Paladino. Thank you, Mary Ellen Elia, for taking forever to make a decision to remove somebody who has absolutely no business being anywhere near elected office. And go ahead, take your time. Take 6 or 9 months or 12 months or 2 years. By that time, his term will be over, and it won't matter. So it's a very sad situation. There should be massive public outrage. I'm outraged, and I'm outraged by how slow the response is to getting rid of Carl Paladino. Good night, everybody.